Right, what I'm going to do now is to take you on the semi-trad boat that is currently under construction. As you can see, it's got steel outer doors. That leads into a semi-trad area with storage lockers. The inner rear steel doors, which will be wood lined, and there will be a top slide when it's finished. Oh, we've got some low profile solar panels there. So coming down the back steps to port, we'll have the electrical cupboard. There will be proper wooden steps coming down, but at the moment we've got a little set of steps, so apologies if there's a bit of a wobble as I'm coming down. Now, the couple that have commissioned this boat have decided to have a pump out toilet, and as we come down the steps you can see the waste holding tank, which is a composite material, plastic. This is far better than a steel tank, which will have a finite life. We can see along the lower cabin sides we have the water pipe work to port, and we have the radiator pipe work to starboard with the radiators already mounted on the walls. They're a sort of a graphite. They look really beautiful on any boat. Walking through from the bedroom, we have the shower unit and the shower area, the toilet area. Now, this couple have decided to have a rectangular shower, which looks absolutely lovely. It has concertina doors, and it has shower boarding rather than tiling. Now, the benefit of having shower boarding is that the cubicle stays watertight. The problem with tiles, although it may look really attractive at the start, with the movement of the boat, those tiles, the grout can crack and the tiles can come off. Not all the time, you know, they can be okay, but in our experience over time there is a deterioration. So there is a flush toilet, porcelain flush toilet. There's a rather modern wash hand basin on a hand-built vanity unit, which is currently being built. Finishing is always very important. You need to make sure that these edges are nice and smooth and rounded. There's nothing worse than a sharp corner to catch yourself on. But this is all under construction. Oh, we have another radiator in here. It's a towel rail cum radiator. Very nice. And we have access down here to pipe work, which is always handy. Very often pipe work can be covered, which isn't helpful if you have a leak. It's always better to have access to your pipe work so you can check on the joints. So as we come into this area, which is the main living area, the galley and main living area, you'll probably notice that there aren't any windows. And the reason for this is basically to protect the windows. The windows are fitted outside, but the inner cabin linings have been fitted. The windows have been cut out, or the aperture for the windows has been cut out, and then masking tape back in, so that any work that's done in here, the windows are protected. And we've got on the floor, we've got the wood trim here all ready to go in when we get to that stage. So just like everything else on this boat, the galley has been designed by the people who are commissioning this boat, and it really is a lovely galley. It's got everything you need, ample storage space. It's got a really nice Thetford Midi Prima oven grill, and just above there's an aperture for a microwave, and above that there's some more storage shelves there. Lovely long worktop. It's a solid oak worktop, nice rounded edges. Now, one thing I do like on these boats, and I think it's a wonderful choice, if I move this out of the way, what we do is we cover over anything that might get scratched or damaged. And we've got this lovely sink. It has the rinse facility in the middle, and if you notice, the draining board is forward of the sink, and the benefit of this is that because the angle of the boat, the camber of the boat, any water on the draining board will drain into the rinse facility in the middle, or if there isn't one of those, it'll drain into the sink. Very often we see boats that have got the sink built the other way round, which means the water does not drain. It's a common fault, but it is there. So we've got DIY cupboard units, which are soft closure, and although that perhaps doesn't look like it is in fact the fridge, which is been turned around to make sure that it's all protected whilst the boat's being constructed. We don't want to damage the front of it in any way, which there's always that chance when you're carrying equipment through, but in turning the fridge around, it just protects it. So we're going to have a Pullman dinette, which isn't built yet, but the Pullman dinette is going to go here. The edges are not completed yet, they'll be capped. And when sitting in this area, there will be a window to the port side and a window to the starboard side. I say a window, I don't actually know, they could be duck doors. Moving forward, we come into the lounge area. I'm not sure what's going to be fitted here when it comes to seating. It might be fixed seating, or the couple might decide to have a sofa bed made, which works very well on these boats. It of course gives extra sleeping facilities. We're looking here now at the television unit that's been made with shelves. Again, this will have been the design of the couple who are commissioning the boat. Towards the front there's cupboard storage and shelving, and I would imagine just under here there's going to be lighting, which will look absolutely lovely. Look at the quality of that wood, it's so smooth and it's got lovely grain, and it's the same over on this side as well. Beautiful. So the forward doors, there's one step, there's going to be quite a tall step going up to lead out onto the front deck, but it has steel forward doors rather than the wooden forward doors, and then I believe it's going to be double glazed panels in the front there, and of course the doors will be capped internally in a nice wood to complement the inside of the cabin. On the front deck, I'm not quite sure where the gas locker is on this boat, but that front storage locker could house the gas locker, or it may just be for storage. It may also be the bow thruster locker. I'm not sure where this boat has got a bow thruster. And then port and starboard, we have steel storage lockers, and again I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with this boat, but it may have wood capping, it may have steel capping, but I'm not going to go out just on the off chance the paint is wet. So turning round again to give you an idea of space and size. The boat does seem a little bit closed in at the moment, but that's because there's no windows that you can see, so you feel like you're in a tunnel. But once those panels have been taken out, you will get a sense of space, airiness. It will be a beautiful boat. The wood has a lovely feature. There's plenty of radiators. In fact, thinking of the radiators, one of the things that jumps out at me on this boat is there is no solid fuel stove. So again, this is obviously going to be the choice of the new owners. They don't want to have a solid fuel stove. They've decided to have just the central heating, which is quite adequate. Let's go back. It's got the lighting in the cabin top. It's got some nice oak trim that's being fitted. As you can see through looking at these windows, there is spray foam insulation. Keep everywhere nice and toasty. And again, looking at this rear bulkhead, there is spray foam insulation, and it covers the steel. If you have any gaps in the spray foam insulation, you take the chance of having condensation, but this isn't the case in this boat. So, coming out onto the rear deck, as I've said before, this is a semi-traditional stern. So any visitors, partners, animals, children, grandchildren can be kept nice and safe within. There we go.